Hello, it's Gem Games here once again and welcome to this new Unreal Engine 5 tutorial. In this video we are going to add these texts over these event triggers. So you can actually always see what event has what, or like what trigger has what event on it. So yeah, and we will make it automatic. So if you add the events like this, if I remove here the objective, it will update. Now it only says play sound, and this will be only visible in the editor. If I click play, you cannot see them. So yeah, let's get started. So what we want to do first is we want to go to the interactable folder and to the game event, and we want to open our event trigger blueprint. And here we want to go to the viewport, and we want to select our default scene root, and we want to add a text render. Let's call this editor only text. Okay, I made a little mistake. Now it's better. Now it actually says editor only text. Yeah, and let's move it upwards to the set 200. And actually, let's make this snapping. Let's turn it on and let's set it to 100. And let's move it to here and here. So it's 100 units on the X, 100 on the Y, and 200 on the Z. So it's basically in the middle here on top of the trigger box. Now that we have set it there, we want to move it under the trigger box. Now these values will change, but it will be set to the middle, and now it will be always there. Now what we want to do here under the horizontal alignment, we want to set it to center, and here on the vertical alignment, we want to set it to text center also. And the world size, I like to set it to like 20. And let's actually change our text render color. I would like to change it to some shade of red, maybe like this. Okay. And now we want to click here, hidden in game, like that. Now we can just, actually, let's clear this, like this, so it doesn't say anything. Now we want to compile, save, and we want to actually go to the construction script. And now we want to create a new function called draw editor only text. Okay. And now back to the construction script, and we can actually close the event graph. We want to move all these a little bit further. So let's select all and let's unselect the input. And let's move this further to here. And let's get the draw editor only text, and let's call it here like this. Now let's actually select this function and let's create a category called editor only. Okay. Now let's go to the actual function draw editor text. What we want to do here is we want to actually get our new game events like this, and we want to for each loop, so we will run through all of its childs. And now what we want to do is we want to get from the loop body, and we want to get a sequence like this. And here to the sequence, to the 0, what we want to do is we want to get our array element, which we actually have to split, and we want to get our array element objective. And now let's get a reference here. Let's also split this. Now what we want to check here is we want to get our new objective, and we want to check text is empty like this. And then we want to get not boolean. So if the text is not empty, then we want to add end boolean. Let's select and press Q to align. So if our text is not empty, and now we have to create a function called check if append, like this, and let's make it pure like this. And here what we want to do is we have to actually create two new variables. The first one will be called editor only text, editor only max text amount. And we want to set it to integer and make it instance editable. And let's actually create a category for this also. This will be called editor only. Now let's duplicate this variable so it automatically put it on the right category. Now we want to change this editor only text amount, like that. Now let's compile. Let's actually save all. And now what we want to do is we want to get our editor only text amount, the bottom one, and we want to check if it's less than our editor only max text amount, like this. Okay. Now we want to click on this, add an output, move it to here. It will be type boolean, and we want to call this append. And now we want to just connect this to here. So if our editor only text amount is less than editor only text max text amount, then we will append. And now one more thing that I noticed. We want to select the editor only text amount, and we want to make this not instance editable. This bottom one, this top one, it has to be instance editable. Compile, save, and now we can go back to the draw editor only text. Now here we want to get our check if append function, which we actually want to move to this category also. Let's get it here, like this. If you are seeing this on blue, you have not set it to as pure. Now we want to connect this to here. Okay, simple as that. Now we want to add a branch, so bn left click, then 0. And let's actually move all this a little bit further here and connect it to the condition. So if the text is not empty and we can append, then we will continue. Now let's create yet another function, and let's already move it to the editor only. This we will call create text to show. And we want to add an input, and this input will be called text to show, and it will be type text, of course. Okay, compile, save. Now what we want to do here, we actually want to get our editor only text, the text render that we created. We want to get it to maybe around here, it doesn't matter. And from here we want to set text, this one, let's get from here. Let's leave some space here. Now to the value, what we want to do is we want to also get from this, and we want to get text, this pink one or a light red. And from here we want to actually create append node. How can we actually get it? Sorry, let's get from this, and let's to string, and from this to string we want to append. So this will basically give us make us able to add text to this text node or this text variable. So first we want to connect this, convert this to the string, and append a will be it. We want to add to this. Now we want to check from here, text is empty, like this. And now we want to get the b, and we want to select string like this. Or actually, let's take the select one. It doesn't matter, but yeah, let's take normal select one. And now let's move these even further, like this. Now here, we want to actually move. Yeah, forget that. We want to connect this to the index like this. So if the text is empty, true, we want to leave it as empty. This will be basically, I will explain you. This will select if we want to add empty text or on the false plus and space. Because if we don't append anything, if this text is empty, we don't want to append on the start plus and space. We want to append this empty. Okay, you will understand it soon. Now here on the C, what we want to do is we want to right click here and we want to text to show, which will be this input here. And from here we want to string. Let's connect this to the C. So yeah, I will explain one more time. We will get our text to the A. We will check if it's empty. If it's empty, we want to add basically nothing to it. If it's not empty, we want to add this plus and space. And then we want to select our text to show and add it to here. Yeah. And now the last thing is we want to move this even further. And from here, we want to connect this to here. To text string like this. Okay. Compile, save, and let's go back to the draw editor text, only text. Now here, after this true, we want to call that create text to show. And this is about the objective. So if that's true, we want to text to show. You can set it to like new objective. So it will show text new objective. Now under here, from the 10.1, what we want to do is we want to get our array element sound and we want to check is not empty. Okay, if the sound array is not empty, then what we want to do, we want to add a branch here under this another branch and connect from 10.1. Let's add a reroute to here. Let's move it to maybe here. Okay, it's not empty. And from here, we want to also check and boolean like this. And let's connect it to there. And actually, let's align it with the top one. And select and Q. And now we also want to check if append. Okay, like that. And here we have to call this create text to show function again from the true. And this text to show will be called play sound. Okay, simple as that. Now, what we want to do is create text to show. I think we had one more thing there. Yes, I'm so stupid. Let's go back to the create text to show and let's compile and let's actually save all just to be sure. Here, after we have created this, after we have set this text, what we want to do is we want to get our editor only text amount and we want to plus, so increment integer. So it will increment its amount. Compile, save. Now, when we go to our map, we don't yet see anything. If we, for example, select this, like this, do we have something here? New game events, sound, play sound, yeah. Editor only max text amount. If we set this to 1, you can see this text will appear here, but it doesn't face to the screen, and also it's facing the wrong direction. So let's quickly fix that. And how we can do that is we want to go back to the event trigger and we want to select our editor only text. Here on the text material, let's click on the browse to default text material OPQ. I don't know how to pronounce it. And now it's here. What we want to do is actually, why do I have this already here? I didn't create this project yet. What? Okay, that's weird. Okay, forget this. I will just... Oh shit, I don't want to do that. So I want to just select this, delete it. But here, yeah, the thing that we were supposed to do, click Browse to, select this default text material OPQ. I don't know how to pronounce that. We want to duplicate it and rename this, remove the one, underscore always face screen. And now let's open it and let's create the code. Yours might look a little bit different, but it should be it should have the same nodes here. If it doesn't, remove everything else than this vertex color to the base color and this font lerp -90 be positive 90 and this red going to the alpha and to the opacity mask. Okay, so now what we want to do here is we want to get from the world position offset and we want to align mesh to the camera. Maybe like this. Now what we want to do is we want to keep 3 pressed on our keyboard and left click 3 times. So we can create 3 of these. Now let's connect the top one to the custom object basis 1. To the second one, custom object basis 2. And the third one, custom object basis 3. Now, what we want to do, first I actually want to align this like that. Here, we want to go to the set and set it to 1. So x0, y0, and set 1. Here on the second, which goes to the 2, we want to set our x to 1. So x1, y0, set 0. And here on the third one, y, we want to set it to -1, not +1, -1. Okay? Now let's save. Let's wait it to save. Let's close it. Now let's go back to the event trigger. Let's select our editor only text and let's change the text material from here. Yeah. Default text material opaque, I don't know how to pronounce that. Always face screen. Let's select that. Press compile, save, and let's go back to the level. And it didn't do anything. Why is that? Default mirror. It should work. I will try to change it again. What? What did I do incorrectly? Oh, sorry. Here on the default material, this material that we just created, we don't want to connect the rotated normals to the world position offset. We want to connect the world position offset, of course. So control left click to move it to here. Press save. And now we can close this. And now you can see here in the game, it will always face the screen. Okay. And now I will show you what this this thing here does. So we have the play sound here. If we add another objective, another event, for example, the objective, and new objective, let's set it to whatever. It didn't change. That's because we have this editor only max text amount set to 1. If we set it to 2, now it will say new objective plus play sound. You understand? And if you don't want to see this, you can just set it to 0. Or if you have much more events here, you can set it to higher number, to like 5. Or you can just set the value here on the event trigger, max text amount. You can set the default value to like maybe 3. So you can always see 3 of those events that's happening on that event trigger. So yeah, and this is just so when you have a lot of these, you can see much better which one is the one that you are trying to modify or whatever. And when we play, you actually cannot see them because they are only visible in editor. So yeah, I actually think that was all for this video. If you liked what you saw, please click the like button and subscribe for more. And yeah, hope you have a great day and see you on the next one. Bye.